Good evening and welcome to another edition of Special Assignment. I'm your host, Ashraf Garda. As we look towards our program revamp, we continue with the celebration of our 16 years of excellence in investigative journalism, in which we rebroadcast our most memorable programs. Tonight, we bring you a rebroadcast of an expose of the criminal activity in the sex industry, where prostitutes who are vulnerable because of the nature of their work are preyed on by the corrupt police. This program is titled Bad Girls, Bad Cops and was produced in 2004.
I don't think that I'll respect a cop. I don't think so, because I know what they want, it's money.
You know, if I see a police on the street, I don't feel safe. They hit me, they spray me with a spray gun, then they ask me, where's the money? They hit me all over my breast, then they find the money, they take my money.
If you go to a cop station and, okay, especially being a prostitute, you know a charge against 6 cops and those cops are saying you're talking crap, who do you think they'll believe? Obviously they'll believe the cop.
Bramley police station, they're doing bad things, they're doing criminals. Cops, instead for them to help us, they're doing criminal things.
Johannesburg's Oxford Road runs from Killarney to Sandton through affluent suburbs like Houghton, Rosebank and Ilovo. Over the past few years, sex workers who used to frequent only the streets of Hillbrow and the inner city have made their way north to where the money is. There are women or men dressed as women on almost every street corner. Some residents are appalled, and restaurant owners say it negatively affects their business.
It's actually brought the Baron and Fiddler down. It's actually brought the shop down. I mean, you know, it used to be busy. It used to be vibrant outside on the balcony. People used to sit until silly hours, but now we've got all these prostitutes hanging on the corner, whistling, shouting, posing, gesturing customers as they're leaving our venue.
I worry about sort of people who come in with small children and they have to come in and see that. And the children ask, you know, I mean, who are those girls? You know, very often they flash. They don't sort of just stand still and, you know, do their business. They, you know, rather loud. They always wave at the motorists and so on. So from that point of view, yes, it's a negative. Yeah.
But there's clearly a market here. Luxury cars pull up and pick up sex workers from 8 until late.
The vehicles that are pulling in there, the BMWs, the Mercs.
They move in where the money is, they move in where the security is, where they feel more secure and where they can make more money.
A lot of the women live in Hillbrow, but do their business in the north. Some of them, like Tsidi, who works on this corner, are independent. But others, like Ilina, Nunu and Tembi, say they are dropped off every night by a Nigerian pimp. He supplies them with accommodation, food and crack. They give him the money they earn.
He drops us, he picks us up. When we come back, he asks us on the phone, how much money do you have? Did you work? If you don't work, why didn't you work? I saw you going with a client. What happened to your money?
What are you doing? Huh?
As if their lives aren't hard enough, the girls allege they have to put up with constant harassment by the police. If they are found on street corners, they are searched and often dropped off miles away. Patrol vans drive up and down all night, often demanding money or free sex.
They're doing it each and every day. Each and every day they're doing it.
They say if they don't oblige, they are arrested.
If they take me alone, I'm alone and maybe there are 3 of them, 4 of them in the van. I have to have sex with them. I have to have sex with them because I can't sleep in the cells. I'm scared to sleep in the cells, and in the cells it's not nice.
You're walking down the street, you just jumped out of a client's club. There will be a guy trying to mug you, the police van will be passing by, they'll do shit about it. But then if it's a client, they'll be there like nobody's business, demanding money. They are useless, they can't do their work.
Tsidi lives in Hillbrow and has been working in Sandton since November last year. She says most sex workers are treated like dirt by the police. She's had several bad experiences.
One, the police was from Rosebank. He picked me, like he was arresting me. So I went like, okay, he's arresting me. Then he took me, we were 4 of us. He took us to Johannesburg Zoo. And then he called me, said, what do you think? I said, what do I think? He said, let's go around that house because I refused. The second time he came again, he picked me. He said he's giving me a lift home. He went to the same place. I said, no, I don't want and all the stuff. If you want to pay me, I said, why must I pay? Because I'm a police. I'll help you some other time and all the stuff. So I just think, what's the use of a police? And because you one, they will come, all of them. I don't think that they see it as a job. They think that when you are there, you just want maybe you just want that's all. And they don't know that you are looking for money. If it was not money, we could not even be standing there. It's cold, it's dangerous, it's dark.
Most of the girls find it easier just to pay the police 50 rand to leave them alone.
It happens every day.
Health worker and researcher Tisetso Mutloong knows many of the women and believes they are among the most victimized in society.
They become vulnerable to any kind of abuse. It could be in their brothels where they stay, it could be by police, it could be by their clients, So because each time they report the cases, they know that the law is against them. So it becomes very difficult for them to report any cases.
Legal researcher Helian Kombrink agrees.
The difficulty is where sex work is criminalized, sex workers are essentially helpless to go and lay complaints about police abuse and police harassment.
The situation seems to be no different in other parts of Johannesburg and surrounding areas. Sex workers in Hillbrow, Rosettenville and Krugersdorp say the police always seem to be on the take. Some even demand bigger bribes if white clients are found with black women.
Cops every day, special weekend, starting Wednesday till Sunday. Friday asking me money, like a customer, I was finding the customer asking the money to pay for the charges. We finding the black girl. Why you finding the black girl? Say, okay, because I finding the black girl, I charge you, so how much? The guys go to the bank, throw the money, pay for the guy, for the cops, because they want to get the trouble. They want to get, because I'm sure it's married guy.
A police spokesperson says sex workers must complain to the right channels.
They can actually phone our toll-free 08600 10111. They can even stay anonymous. As long as they give us enough information to work on, we will definitely investigate this, any information that's been brought to our attention in this regard.
In a moment, police are caught red-handed.
Sharon lives with her cat and a Nigerian drug dealer in Rosettenville, south of Johannesburg. She's 24 and has been doing sex work for about a year, mainly to pay for her drug habit. There are more than 30 crack houses in the area. But she alleges that police from the Boyson station are more concerned about prostitution and how much money they can make from sex workers. She says they often just burst in and steal her electrical appliances.
Just come in, knock on the door, you open the door. If you don't open, they break it down. You can see the bedroom doors, stuff, they break the door. If you can't produce papers or TV license or anything, they just take it. They don't register at the police station like they say they will. You're supposed to register it there, and then you take proof that it's proof of purchase or whatever, and then they're supposed to give it back. It never gets registered at the police station. It's happened, I've had about 4 TV start on like that. So.
2 weeks ago, they tried to take her fridge. She resisted and they got violent.
Retaliate, then they hit you, they beat you. So the bruise on my leg is because of retaliating when they're trying to take the fridge, so that's why you don't. There's often cops that aren't on duty that will come through anyway to collect money. Today, there was a cop here looking for something. He was telling us he's battling. He tried to get into the room to take TV and radio and stuff. He's off duty. He's on holiday on leave for like 2 weeks.
She says if the police can't get money out of the women, they go for the clients.
I was once with a client. He was in a bakkie. I can't remember his name. George, I think. And the cops came. He had quite a bit to drink. They pulled us out the car. They could see he'd been drinking. They started threatening him with his wife and work and take his registration number, calling the number in to see where he stayed, and threatening him like that, letting him think that they were really being serious about it. And the client was petrified. He was literally shaking. He basically crapped himself. He gave them, I think, 760 rand.
Sharon had agreed to help us lay a trap for the police, but a few days after doing the interview with us, she was thrown from a moving car by a client. Her Nigerian housemate says she'll be in hospital for the next 2 months. So we set our own trap back on Oxford Road. We got Special Assignment Investigator Alex Stelianos and team member Dima Rapoto to drive down Oxford Road, rigged with a spy camera. It wasn't long before they were stopped by a patrol car from the Rosebank police station. A policeman who wasn't wearing a name badge made out they were committing a grave offence.
Who's she? I don't know, I gave her a look. In big problems. This is not allowed. She's a prostitute.
No, but this is not fair, man. I didn't talk business with a girl.
One of the policemen then got into the passenger seat of our vehicle and told our investigator Alex to drive on.
Both of you are under arrest.
Huh? Both of us?
Both of you, you and her. So, prostitution is not allowed. Then tomorrow you will appear with them in court.
Oh.
Yeah. You know how much is the fine?
Oh.
It's 8 now, friend.
Huh?
800.
Oh, then I must go to the ATM. I don't have 800 on me.
Instead of taking Alex straight to the police station, they stopped at a bank. Dima, in the meantime, had been thrown into the back of the van and was following behind with the other policemen.
They took me out of the car, hauled me into the police van, and after that they said we must pay a on-spot fine, as they call it, and we drove off. The next thing I saw was we were at an ATM.
The policeman accompanied Alex and pretended to draw money too, so as not to raise the suspicions of the bank's security guards.
They went out and then we drove to some dark corner where they exchanged the money.
Alex was offered a receipt by the policeman.
So you don't want the receipt?
No. I just want to take the girl.
The so-called spot fines are really problematic because it's interpreted as paying an amount of money on the spot, which of course is not allowed in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act. And what it basically is a bribe for the police to release them.
We repeated the exercise the following week, again with the spy camera. This time our team members were stopped by different policemen, also from the Rosebank station. Dima was told that she was a well-known prostitute.
This lady, she's in business. She's a president, you understand? I can also prove that.
They will tell you straight that we know you, we've seen you, we are judged, we are Tengisa. Yeah, and you're so young, it's such a waste. They'll call you all these dreadful names. They're very rude, they're very rough.
We're going to arrest you and the lady because you picked her up. We're going to the station. From the station, we'll drive in the van to your place to go and confirm where you stay. Everything. Lady, just come out there, come out. Get into the van there.
And one of the police members was a female who actually accused me of being a prostitute, that she's seen me on this corner and she knows who I am. And after stopping us, they took me out of the car, same procedure, hoiked me in the van, and then we drove off.
How much is this admission of guilt now?
It's 1,000 rands.
How much?
1,000 rands.
Alex managed to beat him down to 600. Real sex workers confirm that this is the modus operandi.
They'll make the client pay any amount, you don't know how much they want. And the next thing, they'll still want some money from you.
I'll jump inside the van, and another cop will jump inside that client car. And inside there, they will talk, you are arrested. They're scaring these guys, these white guys. You are arrested. And that guy will be scared, you have to keep money. If he said he doesn't have money, you go to the ATM.
The police always inquire about the alleged client's marital status.
Mr. Lamas, why are you doing this wrong things, huh?
Like what?
Are you not a married man?
I'm a married man, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you think your wife is going to like it when I tell her what are you doing wrong here?
They came to a point where they threatened my colleague and said, we are going to tell your wife on what you do after hours with the prostitutes. And if you are a client and you are married, you will freak out and you'll pay whatever amount they want.
None of the crooked cops wore identification badges.
They never wear their name tag, so you can never say, this is your name, this is so-and-so.
Many of the sex workers allow themselves to be intimidated because they are as unfamiliar with the law as the police appear to be.
I got arrested for walking or for climbing in a car. I mean, it's not illegal. You know, but most of the girls don't know that they know the work they're doing, so they automatically assume that they can arrest them because they know what work they do. It's not illegal to get in a car, it's not illegal to walk in the street.
It's not enough to know that somebody is a sex worker. The police or the state would have to prove that on a particular occasion she had sex with a particular person for reward.
Britta Rotman is the legal advisor for SWET, the Sex Worker Education and Advocacy Task Force. One of the reasons the organisation wants sex work decriminalised is to prevent unfair treatment by the police. Currently, the Sexual Offences Act criminalises all aspects of the sex industry except buying sex, but that doesn't stop men facing arrest.
The Sexual Offences Act doesn't provide for a crime of buying sex, but theoretically a client could be charged under aiding and abetting a crime or being an accessory to a crime or things like that.
Sex workers are often arrested under municipal bylaws.
It'll be things like loitering, obstructing traffic. Some of those bylaws are valid bylaws, but not necessarily, they're not necessarily enforced against everybody in the same manner.
People can literally be arrested for such standing on street corners, which obviously is far less labour intensive than trying to arrest and prosecute under the Sexual Offences Act.
Sex workers say they and their clients are often threatened with arrest before doing a thing simply because police recognise them. One night, our spy cameraman picked up a prostitute and drove with her along Oxford Road. Police recognised the woman and stopped them.
Cameraman Byron Taylor was nearby, filming with a broadcast camera. Our spy cameraman pretended to be alarmed when he saw us.
I don't need this drama now.
Get into the car and then let's go.
We had earlier been stopped by the two policemen and told them we were doing a documentary on nightlife. The policemen, this time from the Bramley station, seemed to have a routine worked out. They would wait in a nearby side street while Alex withdrew the money. Shortly before doing so, he sent us a text message telling us where he was going. The policemen were unconcerned when we arrived at the scene of the cash handover.
Where's these people from? They say they're from the SABC. They're doing this program, Nightlife. Where you go? No,
After taking 500 rand, they casually warned him to be more discreet next time he picked up a sex worker, or he could risk being captured on an SABC camera. The sex worker Queen wasn't surprised at all by the acceptance of the bribe.
This is normal.
Yeah, it's normal. They used to do that.
They do it all the time.
Yeah.
As if we didn't have enough proof of police corruption, we tried one more time just to make sure. Alex, our spy cameraman, picked up a sex worker who said she wanted a lift home. Once again, they were stopped. This time, the policeman hovered near the ATM while the money was being withdrawn.
He'd asked for 1,000 rands.
I can draw 600. That's my limit.
After conferring with his partner, a policewoman who'd been present on earlier bribes, the money was handed over back in our vehicle. All in all, we'd managed to bribe 7 policemen and had spent 2,400 rands. It's said that they can make up to 30,000 rands a month with the money they get from sex workers, pimps and drug dealers.
I would say they're not getting less than 600 each month. Easy. From each Nigerian, they're getting between 50 and 100. If they find a girl with a pipe on her, then the charge is 200. It's got like a price list that goes with it.
I'll go and drop her.
This morning, we showed our video to some of Gauteng's most senior policemen. Deputy Provincial Commissioner Bushy Engelbrecht said he was disillusioned.
I was obviously very embarrassed. It's not nice sitting there seeing your colleagues wearing the same uniform as you do, doing these things. And of course, we will take steps against them. We are going to conduct a full investigation now, immediately after the session here. Then we will obtain warrants of arrest, then they will be suspended too. And after conviction, they will definitely be dismissed.
So what is to be done with this problem? More after this.
Health issues are a major concern to sex workers. Often they are more aware than many about sexually transmitted diseases.
These women, the sex workers, they could identify a sick man. They would say, I had a very sick man. I told this guy she must go to the hospital, because then we give them health education. They know different kinds of STIs.
Sometimes they are more aware than the police.
The most don't use the condom. The problem, the one give me a problem. The custom don't give me a problem. Just a cop and boyfriends give me a problem, because they don't want to use it. Because they don't trust me. And you say I'm working for government. Wow.
Organizations like Sweat say if prostitution was decriminalized, there'd be more awareness, less corruption, and police could perhaps make better use of their time and resources.
We would much prefer a situation where we can talk to the police and sit down with them and have a meeting between sex workers and police and discuss the issues that police have and the issues that sex workers have. Where there are valid complaints by communities or by the police, then those should be addressed.
In 2002, the Pretoria High Court found that sections of the Sexual Offences Act outlawing sex for reward were unconstitutional. But the Constitutional Court didn't agree and ruled that a decision regarding sex work should be made by the legislature. Parliament is awaiting recommendations from the SA Law Commission. So for now, the official police line is that sex workers must be arrested.
If people are arrested for prostitution or under the Sexual Offences Act, these people are arrested according to the law and taken in charge to the police station.
It's not a constructive way of dealing with the problems that arise from outdoor sex work. And unfortunately, we see that many of the human rights abuses against sex workers come from this policy of random arresting.
However, in the south of Johannesburg, we found a police reservist with an open attitude. Captain Kathy Newcomb knows most of the sex workers in Rosettenville. Although she'd like to get them off the streets, she's able to see the futility of arresting them.
The main reason why we came here was because the residents were complaining about prostitution in the area, and they couldn't let the children play outside because of condoms and hypodermic needles. In the beginning, we tried to discourage them from working in the streets, and then afterwards sometimes they would come to us for help or advice, and we would help them where we could.
She has a collection of photographs of 134 sex workers in Rosettenville.
They know that the photographs will be used for my records only. It's not to be used for anything else except for me, so that I remember who I'm speaking to. If anybody goes missing, I've got somewhere to start. I have an address, I have a friend, a colleague, family member, something like that. So I try and get as much detail as I can. I try and find out how long they've been in the streets, what has driven them into the streets.
She says some of the women are earning up to 20,000 rands a month, so it's unrealistic to expect them to stop the work unless there's an alternative. All she can do is to try to keep them safe.
I can offer them help if they're in trouble. Some of them do get into trouble with their pimps. Maybe they want to leave or they want to move to somewhere else, and the pimp won't allow them to, and they come to us, and then we go into our house and we help them to remove their property, and we escort them away from there.
3 of the girls who helped us with our story, Nunu, Tembi and Queen, told us they were desperate to get away from their Nigerian pimp. They lived with him in this block of flats in Hillbrow. We took them to the Sexual Offences Unit, where they laid charges of rape and sexual exploitation. But the police apparently didn't follow up on the case, and last we heard the girls were back with the man, back in the flat and back on the streets. And like all the other women who helped us, they're also still at the mercy of the police. Unless, of course, their tales of abuse and our evidence of corruption are taken seriously.
We pray to thee to suppress all those trying to depress our gains in the name of the law. What law is this that abuses, harasses, and confuses? Amazing enough, it's a law that's useless. Sisters out to get paid, brothers in blue out to inflict pain. Every night we try and gain something for our reign, but they keep coming to prey on our state. Every night I will make a pact, even though I might be attacked, to contract and attract those in dire need for my services. Amen.
Right, please post your story suggestions or issues that you would like us to follow up. And you can do so in one of three ways. That's Twitter, Facebook, or via email. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching. And do tune in again next week when we continue to point out the issues that matter.